Now, my question to you, are there plans to place in place to release monies to CDFIs so they can continue to finance affordable housing projects? That's a yes or no. If yes, when? If no, why not?
Treasury has been working to implement the CDFI funds programs as required by law. Upon apportionment of appropriated funds, Treasury will be
Is
able
this
to
going to be a
complete
yes or no?
outstanding program awards
Mr.
as
Secretary,
expeditiously
no.
as possible.
I'm going to abide by the chairman's rules, but I have some rules. You can say yes or no, and then if you say yes, you may continue to give that support. If it's a no, then you tell me why not. And now we need to be clear. Yes, let's start with the yes or no. I'm trying to be respectful, but you're not going to do what you want to do on my time. Yes or no, or you can say I'm not going to answer it, and I'll move on.
Number 3.
Chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Ohio, Ms. Beatty, who is the ranking member of our National Security Subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, and to the witness. First, let me start by saying that I am certainly concerned about the direction of this country, this Treasury, this administration, and this president. I believe that our democracy is under attack, as well as CFPB, the Federal Reserve, CDFIs, HUD, and the list goes on and on. So I'd like to start with a question on community development financial institutions, or CDFIs as we refer to them, which you've played a key role in economic development. As a matter of fact, in your one-page testimony, you mentioned economic development or growth or security almost a dozen times. You also have stated promoting economic growth and economic security is essential to ensuring financial stability. Economic growth strengthens housing, business, financial institutions, so forth and so forth. Nationwide, CDFIs finance more than 45,000 affordable homes. However, applications for CDFI's fund programs have been pending for almost 12 months or more, and except for some CDFI funds for administrative costs, none of the FY25 program funds have been allocated. Last fall, CDF Fund issued a supplemental application to CDFIs to ensure that they were in compliance with the executive orders issued by the administration, but funds still have not been dispersed. Now, my question to you, are there plans to place in place to release monies to CDFIs so they can continue to finance affordable housing projects? That's a yes or no. If yes, when? If no, why not?
Treasury has been working to implement the CDFI funds programs as required by law. Upon apportionment of appropriated funds, Treasury will be
Is
able
this
to
going to be a
complete
yes or no?
outstanding program awards
Mr.
as
Secretary,
expeditiously
no.
as possible.
I'm going to abide by the chairman's rules, but I have some rules. You can say yes or no, and then if you say yes, you may continue to give that support. If it's a no, then you tell me why not. And now we need to be clear. Yes, let's start with the yes or no. I'm trying to be respectful, but you're not going to do what you want to do on my time. Yes or no, or you can say I'm not going to answer it, and I'll move on.
Number 3.
Okay, so let the record show that he refuses to answer a question. No, we're not going to do that with me. We are not going to do that with me.
Ask it.
It's the gentlewoman's time from Ohio.
Now, you opted for number 3, so you get to hear my wrath that you refuse to answer a question under your authority and what this administration, and yet you've talked about the value of housing, and you're not releasing the funds, and I want the record to be clear on that. So let me move on. Mr. Secretary, I've asked you, as your predecessors, Democrats or Republican, Jack Lew, Mnuchin, Janet Yellen, and you a year ago, about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. We started this process in 2020. At that time, Jack Lew said it would take 4 years. I sent you a letter. Do you know what your response was to me?
I haven't seen the letter, ma'am.
Well, you answered the letter. So now I was given a chance to help you. You responded to my letter just recently because you know I drilled you on this. But now you responded to tell me in a few words, it's a complex process. So that's not really an answer. We know it's a complex process. Your Republican predecessor said the same thing, but he went on to support it. So it was supported by 3 people before you. It was scheduled for 2020. Then it got backlogged, because it's a complex process, to 2028. The last Republican said we would be on target to do this. So now, my question to you is, why is it not on target? And why are you not engaged in this process? Part 1. Part 2, do you know who is over the Department or the Bureau of Engraving and Printing? Do you know who that person is?
Sorry?
Do you know who is over the Bureau of Engraving and Printing?
I am.
You run it?
The
You run it?
The Treasury Secretary.
Be careful now.
Treasury
Do you run the Bureau?
Gentlelady's time has
Then
expired.
let me ask him to put it in writing, because he doesn't run it.
Chair-
It's appointed by him, and it's Patricia Collins. So let the record show that he was incompetent in answering the question.
Gentlelady's time has
Now I
expired, and I
yield.
invite the Secretary to respond to your detailed question about, that you proposed on the bill in writing. And I now call on the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Rose. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Hill, and thank you, Ranking Member Waters, for holding this important hearing, and thank you, Secretary Bessent, for taking time from your schedule to be with us here today. If you'd like to take a moment to address any of the issues that were just on the table.
There are numerous incidents with counterfeited bills, and we are revamping the 50, which is the most counterfeited bill first. The Congresswoman does not seem to have an interest in safety and security of American money.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Secretary Bessent, I really enjoyed reading your recent Wall Street Journal op-ed with my friend Senator Bill Hagerty about strengthening Main Street banks. You make a compelling case that the current FDIC insurance limits contribute to an uneven playing field, where deposits flow toward the largest institutions in times of stress. Could you elaborate on how raising deposit insurance coverage would help restore confidence in community and mid-sized banks, particularly in places like my home state of Tennessee, and ensure small businesses can keep their payroll and operations anchored in their local banks?
Again, Congressman, what happens during a stress period, the owners of the capital rightly move it to where they believe their deposits are insured. There is the belief that large institutions that have a special exemption called moral hazard, and I think by increasing the deposit accounts, especially for payroll accounts, that those deposits will not be forced to flee. When a local businessman calls up and says, I have $2, $5, $7 million in your bank, I've known you, we banked here for 50 or 100 years, but we're gonna have to move, many times they don't come back.
Thank you. I share that view. Secretary Bessent, do you believe that raising deposit insurance limits would directly translate into more lending capacity for small businesses and farms that rely on community banks, particularly in rural communities like those that I represent across Middle and East Tennessee?
Congressman Rose, in a fractional banking system, deposits finance lending. When deposits flow out, the ability to have capital to lend is greatly diminished.
Thank you. Again, share that view. Mr. Secretary, the FSOC annual report highlights the terrorism risk insurance program and underscores that small insurers are significant participants in the terrorism risk market, with their market share stable since 2017. In light of that, and given that the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act backstop has never been triggered in more than 20 years, do you see any clear evidence today of market failure or a pressing need for federal intervention that would justify continuing a permanent federal backstop at current levels in this market, rather than beginning a responsible transition to a more private terrorism risk insurance system?
Congressman, I have no data, so I have no opinion, but I will get back to you on that.
Thank you. I'd appreciate. And how does Treasury assess, if you could add to this or you can address it now, taxpayer risk under TRIA today? And do you believe that that risk profile is consistent with what Congress originally envisioned as a temporary federal program?
I used to be an insurance analyst, but I haven't seen the actuarial table, so I'm not going to comment.
Thank you. I was proud to vote with for President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill and help create Trump accounts, which give kids a real foundation to build savings and wealth from day one. These accounts are a great way to help families in Tennessee and across the country start planning for their children's futures. Can you update us on how implementation of the Trump accounts is going so far, whether Treasury has the resources it needs to stand this program up effectively, and whether credit unions and small community financial institutions will be allowed to participate in offering these accounts?
I'll work backwards. Initially, there will be one master custodian for the accounts. So initially, these small banks will not be able to participate. Eventually, the holders of the accounts will be able to migrate out to designated institutions. The uptake is going quite well. We had a big event this week to roll out the accounts. More than 1 million households representing more than 1 million children have signed up. I would tell everyone to look for the commercial right after the national anthem at the Super Bowl this weekend. I think we are prepared for a flood of signups, and then they will go live on July 5th, and the goal is the lowest possible fees on these index funds.
Thank you,
Gentleman's time.
Thank you, Treasury Secretary. Hopefully no singing as a part of
Gentleman's
that.
time has expired.